Welcome to the podcast. Title Talk with Corey. Now streaming. Stand by.
Good morning. Okay, today's Monday, February 12th. It's also International Epilepsy Day, so stay tuned. We're going to have a good discussion on bringing awareness to epilepsy, but also we're going to share some good pointers for a farming niche I think you guys should all be looking into. So stay tuned. Stand by. We'll be right with you. Corey, title rep here, Pacific Coast title. Let's go. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
All right. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys had a great weekend, great Super Bowl weekend. We had a good weekend. The game was good. It was very competitive, low scoring, defensive game. And the legend, the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, just he just pulled it off. He did what he does best, man. He's clutch. So congrats to the Chiefs. Sorry, I'm not a Niners fan, but I'm a Rams fan, so I was rooting for the Chiefs. Sorry. Anyways, it was awesome. It was awesome. Very competitive. And I'll say, just as a coach, props to Coach Reed. I think this is important to understand when you're running a team, sales and real estate or anything, to identify the weaknesses in your team, but also to really look at the talents and the strengths within each individual on your team, and bolster those, because that's going to really help you with that winning strategy. So it was great. We had a lot of snacks on our sideline here at the pad as we watched the Super Bowl. And what I did is this time, rather than a couple weeks ago when we had the championship games, my wife, of course, she makes this big old spread. And I think we had like potato wedges, taquitos, pizza, and just all this, really awesome food. But, there's only so much you can consume. So what I did is I kind of did little bits of each dish. And it actually worked better. It was much less bloating yesterday than it was before. So thank you to my wife, Liz, for everything that you do. We love you. Anyways, she was on episode 22 last week. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, go check it out, because there's a lot of information there that she's sharing from a title perspective on, what's going on in the industry, including a lot of fraud that's been going on. We get, during these times where business is a little bit more challenging to pick up, you see some stuff come out of the woodwork, and we talk about that in our last episode. So check that out, episode 22 with Liz Velasquez, PCT Title Operations Manager. And if you look here on my screen, I'm sharing with you here the International Epilepsy Day website. That's today, Monday, February 12th. 2024 is International Epilepsy Day. For those of you who know me and my wife and my family, we have a young daughter, Viviana. She's 21 years old, who was diagnosed with epilepsy a couple of years ago. And so it's been a challenge coping with this disease. And so we've jumped on board with a few different organizations. And of course, we're trying to educate ourselves, and thanks to things like the Epilepsy Foundation, the Hundley Foundation, and several different, resources that we've been looking into, including an event that occurs every year. And they call that Epilepsy Awareness Day at Disneyland. That happens once a year. So anybody that who has been afflicted with this ailment and or this condition, we'll just, let's be positive. We want to share with you any kind of resources moving forward to help you cope, just like we are coping with it now. Of course, it's challenging. You know what we've done. And I'm very proud of my daughter Viviana. She's been through such adversity over the last couple of years, and how she's coped with it. Now she's doing great things. She's actually working with us over at Pacific Coast Title Company. She's learning a lot of things. She handles a lot of our closing protection letters, and she's kind of the face of our company up front. She answers the phones, and so if you ever get a chance to call in customer service, I hope you do. You can say hi to her, Viviana. And like I said, I just couldn't be prouder of her. She's doing really, really good. But there's a lot of challenges that come along with it, and as a family, we have to kind of play as a team. I was talking about teams earlier, and we definitely have to do that. We and that same thing with other families who are dealing with not just epilepsy but other things. You have to kind of come together as a family, as a team, and provide that support. And we just love her so much, and she's so anyways, I don't want to get too emotional, because I will. I'm an emotional guy. What I want to share with you anyway, that was the International Epilepsy Day. Like I said, we're going to be talking. I'm actually going to have Viviana on here. You're just going to fall in love with her. She's just a great kid, and I'm not. I truly mean that. Everybody just seems to love her, and so we're going to have her on in the coming weeks, and we'll talk about some things, what's going on with her. I'm sure she's going to probably embarrass me, but that's okay. I can take it. And so, but also what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today is some farming. And then being that it's International Epilepsy Day, I'm going to share with you some of the highlights, or actually the episode that we did with former NFL star, UCLA Star, and founder of the Hundley Foundation, Brett Hundley. So I'm going to share with you an interview that we did early on in the podcast. Again, to bring awareness to the cause, and I think you're going to enjoy that if you're a UCLA fan, or Brett, he played with the Green Bay Packers. So I'm going to share that interview with you in a minute, but I want to talk about farming right now and what I'm doing. There are some great algorithms within the PCT Title Toolbox that I'm helping a lot of clients with. Now, this is totally legit stuff. This is not the next sellers list, but they are algorithms that I've been combining to just filter out and put together farm strategies for some clients. And this stuff seems to be working right now. So what I want to do is share with you, for one, my phone number, 626-392-7993. It's a great way to get a hold of me. Just give me a call. You can message me, or you can direct message me on Instagram. I'm up here every week, 11 a.m., sharing with you a live podcast that is Title Talk with Corey every Monday at 11 a.m. Now streaming on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart. It's all over the place. And then also on every social media outlet. So jump on with me live here every Monday, 11 a.m. And if you can't, just catch the podcast later. But like I said, go check out episode 22 with Liz Velasquez, and then jump on with me weekly. So, but what I want to share with you, most importantly, I digress, is my website, www.coreytitlerep.com. The links, there's a lot of links up there, great stuff directly to my website. The portals for some of our really valuable tools, right? The links to my podcast, my live streams. But most importantly, I just added a new tab there, and it's my book appointment tab. It's an orange button. You just click it, and you select the time, the date, the place that you want to meet. And I'll come out, we'll do a consultation, and I'm going to show you what I'm working on right now, what's working with some of my top clients. And believe me, I got some good ones out there, and they're hustling, right? So what I want to share with you some great algorithms that I'm working out, and I call it the double A algorithm. I won't share it right here online because I want to make sure that you book an appointment with me. And this is going to be a free consultation. There's no charge. I'm just trying to build relationships to help you identify more sales, more listings, more buyers, right? Targeted, right? We're going to help you use these tools, totally legal. like I said, and it ain't the next sellers list either. This is powerful stuff, guys. You should be targeting a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about. And this is a need to sell niche. It's just being a little bit more creative in how you apply certain algorithms on your boundary maps. If you're familiar with Title Toolbox, maybe you're not. Maybe you've heard of it, but you're not. You haven't been trained on it, or you haven't been informed what's in it for you. Okay, and I have all kinds of different clients. A lot of clients of mine, they don't want to deal with new technology and apps, and you hear the word tools all the time, and I think you guys get burnt down on tools and apps and all that stuff. And I don't blame you. Believe me, I have to stay on top of my game with all this stuff. But when it comes down to actually identifying and targeting sales, I mean, can you honestly say where your next listing is coming from? I mean, if you can't say that, then you should be giving me a call. You should be making that appointment, because I'm helping agents right now. Okay. I'm helping you guys, and I have a team of people that I'm working with right now, and I can attest, and they're killing it. They're bringing in listings weekly. So jump online, www.coreytitlerep.com. You can see it scrolling right here, my little ticker, www.coreytitlerep.com, or reach out to me, give me a call, message me, 626-392-7993, link in bio, click on the book appointment tab. Let's win together. All right. And I mean that. I mean that. Let's win together, because I need you guys to get more listings. I need to close more deals, and I want to stay busy. I want to keep you guys busy. Trust me, it's going to be worth your time. We're going to sit down, and I'm going to show you how to use some very simple algorithms. And but you know what? They pay off big. It's a win-win. Not only do you get some great information, but you're going to get a title company and a title rep that's available to you 7 days a week. Finally, you got a title rep and a title company available to you 7 days a week. Let's go, baby. All right. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play my interview with NFL UCLA Star, former Green Bay Packer, Brett Hundley. But more importantly, this guy's a great guy, the founder of the Hundley Foundation. The HundleyFoundation.org. Go check it out. If you know anyone who's afflicted with epilepsy, jump on board. It's a great cause, and there's a lot of good stuff to learn about this ailment. A lot of stuff, and there's a lot of great events that they put on to raise awareness and support for these people. A lot of you, it's just a very misunderstood. I think a very misunderstood ailment. I think a lot of people don't realize how, dangerous a seizure can be. It can be, it can be life-threatening. And I'll just share with you just a little bit what happens. Now every epileptic patient who has seizures, they have different types of seizures, and I'll just share with you a little bit of knowledge on stuff that we have learned in our experience. When my daughter first started having seizures, it was absolutely terrifying. And I'm not going to lie, to this day, it's still very stressful for us. But we've learned how to cope with it a little bit better. Like I said, we're still fairly new to her diagnosis, which was a couple of years ago. But what happens is there's kind of a little short circuit in the brain. And there's a couple of different types of epilepsies, a few different types. In my daughter's case, she's affected with something called generalized epilepsy that affects both hemispheres of the brain. In someone with focal epilepsy, there's only a part of the brain that's affected. And sometimes that could be due to a mass that's in the brain, a tumor, a lesion or something, and that could be affecting it. We're talking about very minuscule parts of the brain that are affected. And so, but in my daughter's case, it affects both sides of her hemisphere. And so they call that generalized epilepsy. And there's no surgical procedure that can be done for her. So we rely on medications, anti-seizure medications, and therapy, diet, and all that. And she's been doing some dieting, some fasting, which I think is starting to work. And since her last appointment, I she still has seizures, probably every 6 weeks. Hopefully, we're very optimistic. The doctors have said that she's doing good, actually, because now they're further apart. And so, if you know anyone who has seizures or epilepsy, you'll learn that there's this discovery phase with medications, with anti-seizure medications. Some patients are candidates for surgery, like I said, for different types of devices that they can implant into the brain that help to reduce or even completely eliminate seizures. So that is our goal moving forward. She's doing good, and like I said, considering all of the adversity that our daughter has gone through, she's actually, we're very proud of her. She's really just a trooper. She's a strong, funny, charismatic, hilarious, strong young woman, and we're so proud of her. But anyways, so I wanted to share just a little bit with you. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and throw on my interview here with Brett Hundley, and we hope to have him on again in the future. But also, like I said, we're gonna continuously support and be advocates for epilepsy, and we'll keep you guys posted moving forward. Stay tuned. If you guys need anything, don't forget to reach out this week. And like I said, make that appointment. www.coreytitlerep.com. Make your appointment with me. Book it. Let's do it. Let's make an appointment, a consultation. And I promise you, I'm going to give you some stuff that's going to really change your way of thinking, doing business, because I think there's a lot of you who just don't realize that, a good friend of mine always used to say, the business is out there. No, it's not, right? He would say, the business is right here. It's right under your nose. Remember that. This deal's closing every day. We see it. Okay? You can do it. You can do it. We got you. So stay tuned here. We got Brett Hundley interview, episode 4, Title Talk with Corey, the podcast for real estate agents, real estate professionals. Okay. So here I'll see you guys next week. Go. Brett, can you hear me yet?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Sweet.
Hey, man. Thank you for joining us. No
problem, man. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, it's an honor. It's an honor. We're big fans of yours. Going back to UCLA, I'm rocking my UCLA gear today.
I love it.
Yeah, man. You were awesome, man. You were just one of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch over at the Rose Bowl. We even have somewhere we got this cup. I just wanted to show you. This was from your senior banquet, I think. Somebody found it. One of my family members found this at a yard sale or something, and it's got your name on the back here. All of the seniors. So this is one of our favorite cups that we drink. We're big coffee drinkers here, and we broke the cup, glued it back, and we still got it. So. But anyways, I mean, aside from you being one of the most amazing athletes, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen over at UCLA, and we're just big fans. But more than that, we have a daughter. I don't know if Shannon told you, we have a daughter who's afflicted with epilepsy, and so
no way.
Yeah. So she's 21 years old, just turned 21, and she had a seizure when she was 9 years old, and the doctors. They at the time they said, well, maybe it was, it could have been like hormonal or something. She was just kind of, coming to age. And so then she didn't have a seizure until way later, until her late teens, 19 years old, when she was diagnosed with epilepsy. And so for the past couple of years, we've been in that kind of discovery phase where we're not sure what medications work. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot about epilepsy. In fact, just last year we went to our first kind of conference over in Anaheim. I think it's called EADD, or a conference that they have there, and that's where we saw a booth set up. Had a football there. Your signature was on it. It said the Hundley Foundation. We're like, no way, man! Brett's a part of this. This mission to bring awareness to epilepsy, and so we're excited, man, because we really look up to you. You're a big, like I said, we're big fans, and the fact that you're so involved with the epilepsy community and the foundation, it's just awesome, man. So thank you for that. It's an honor to have you here today. If you could just tell us a little bit about what's going on with the foundation. I know you're involved with a lot of other stuff, and you've been doing things with fatherhood.
Yes.
The hero I saw, and so if you could just share a little bit about that, man. Like we're happy to spread the word.
Yeah, man. And again, thank you so much. And if there's anything we could do, for your daughter, anything like that, man, we're more than welcome and willing to do anything we can in our powers, man. And it's crazy. That's the reason we started the foundation. And just a little bit of background, my sister was diagnosed with epilepsy when she was 10, I was 9. And so same situation, man. We were in that predicament of like not knowing. Didn't nobody around us know anything about epilepsy. There wasn't, especially being out in Arizona, there wasn't many resources to connect with. Right. So it's all just like figuring it out. And we've spent countless time in the hospitals with her, dislocating shoulders, right, having to educate people what to do if she does have a seizure, when you're around and I'm not there, something like that. Right. And, it's just hard. So, we had started the foundation, and our mission statement was to help children and families in need. And the reason we created that, or made it as broad, is because our foundation is epilepsy, but we also we wanted to still touch different aspects of the community, and that being like the Eisner Fatherhood Program, which is for first-time fathers. Now, we've been doing it for 2 or 3 years now, and it's been a huge success. And these fathers get to come in; it's free to them, and they get to come in and have a 12-week course that they just go through and learn everything from the mother-son, father-daughter relationship to being a better man for your kids. And we have the walks. We have, we do a lot.
That's awesome.
And it's been just a blessing. And that's been the biggest thing for myself, leaving UCLA and having a great platform. It's always been a passion, not only for my sister, but to give back and give a voice to those who may not know where they're at or their situations they're going through. And for us at the Hundley Foundation, be able to come in and say, hey, we're your resource. We can help you. I think it creates an awesome community of people like yourself and others who are really who care about this stuff. We never want to be the massive foundations that forget about the reason why we're started. So that's been our big culture. And the reason is just keeping the main thing, right, and helping out who we do. So, we got a great event though coming up for everybody in there. Exactly. We got a great event. It's at Long Beach, and it's cool. The foundation started. We did a lot of stuff in Vegas, and then we branched out to Arizona, then to California, and now specifically in Long Beach. And we have a walk coming up this week, or August 13th, at Granada Launch Ramp. And it'll be our first event in Long Beach. It's called the Lace 'em Up for Epilepsy Walk. It's from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And it'll be just a really, really cool event. We've hosted walks in Vegas, like I said, in Arizona, and now for this to be our first in Long Beach. Really, really excited for the turnout.
Wow. Hey, Brett, I'm just going to switch mics real quick.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Check. Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That it's just to have somebody, like yourself, in the NFL, huge, role model to a lot of these kids, and not just kids, but adults suffering with this ailment. It's like you said, you're bringing a voice to a community that needs it, because there's just not a lot of education. In fact, one thing that we discovered was that even some of the regular primary physicians out there in the emergency rooms, because I can think like the first 5 seizures that we had experienced, we took her to the emergency room right away. And we don't know what the heck, we were just so lost, and you should just see the way my family was here. We were just like running around, screaming, you know what I mean?
We were exactly the same.
It was just chaotic, man. We're barely to the point where like, okay, we kind of have some control. over the situation of over ourselves, right? You know, and my wife is like dragging her to the couch. I'm like, no, just leave her on the ground. Like, you know, we're so lost, you know? So it's so good to have somebody like yourself who can lend a voice, you know, to the masses and help us and help bring awareness really what epilepsy is. And you know, like, you know, I don't think some people don't realize, you know, how serious a seizure can be. You know, every seizure can be a medical emergency. You know, you got to kind of watch for it. Most of the time it's not, but you know, it can be. You know, sometimes, you know, my daughter had stopped, you know, breathing for a while. That's the first thing that we check for. Is she breathing? Is she breathing? Right.
Yep. And it's the crazy part about it, because you're sitting there and you're like, I remember, you know, we were 2-story, and if you ever heard like a loud bump upstairs or like something, you know,
yes,
like you're sprinting up the stairs thinking like, you know,
yep, exactly.
like,
rumbling, right? Like you can hear the convulsion, right? Yeah. Oh my God, we have PTSD from that. Every noise that we hear, every bump that we hear, we're just running. Yep. You know, what was that? Turn the TV down. Did you hear that? What was that? You know, that's how we are. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's so awesome that you know, to hear other people, you know, and the fact that you have this foundation, you know, you're bringing people together. And we're so lost. My poor daughter, you know, she's so confident. She's such a great girl, and she's got this great infectious personality. But you know, since this all started, it really kind of she kind of like backed off and got a little bit, you know, I hate to use the word depression, but you know, that's the reality. She started to feel depressed, and you know, anyways, I don't want to get too emotional. But, yeah.
No. You know what's crazy about that is so that specifically, and I had this, it was this cool docu-series I did with Paris about the things that she was battling, that as family members watching, we noticed, and, you know, she finally started opening up. But depression is one that is a huge thing, because especially when you're battling with epilepsy, you know, the whole thing is like, okay, well, I might not be able to get my license. I might not, like, I want to feel normal in a sense. I want to be able to do this stuff. And you lose sometimes your identity with like who you are, and like now this thing you're battling. Yeah. And for my sister, it was, you know, like I said, she didn't really open up with her story until I got to UCLA, and I just mentioned it in the paper, and then we connected with the community who was able to help us in Paris. That was the first time she ever felt like opening up, because everything before that was, you know, kids teasing her, parents don't know what the heck a seizure is. Right. You know, it's hard, and so, you know, those battling through it really like that battle, and not just the physical but the mental side of it. That is the true reason as far as why we wanted to create the culture and the atmosphere that we're creating. So like people like your daughter, you know, and there's so many people going through the same battles that just aren't speaking because they don't feel the sense of community. And that's why we wanted to start, because it gives people the opportunity to be around others who are battling the same things, to where they're not thinking like, I have to dim my light down because I'm feeling like this, you know?
Yeah, and you know, like my daughter, she gets a little bit annoyed sometimes, because we always have to ask her, you know, Viv, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm fine, right? And she gets a little bit annoyed by it, you know. And we even have this code word. We call it. The code word is pineapple, right? So with her epilepsy, she sometimes will have the petite malls, and where she just kind of stares, and then they lead into a grand mal. Yep. And so,
have the same thing.
Okay, yeah. So I see. We don't know that. We don't know what other people are dealing. You know, is this normal? Is this how, you know, how it goes sometimes? Because sometimes it's not that, right?
And you start staring.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, okay, let me get this.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, hey, everybody, you know, fall into position, right? Like, so in my family, I have 2 boys, my wife, and my daughter. So it's 5 of us, and we're all so like in tune with it now, you know, what to do.
And that's the biggest thing too, is it's obviously the person going through it, but it's also a major part of those who are around them, because the caretakers, the family, like, you got to be on your toes. Like, and it's not a change for just them, but it's also a change for yourself, and knowing and being aware. I mean,
for the family.
And it's crazy because it creates a lot of different environments where, you know, when you're sitting at the house, you know, when Paris was upstairs and if she was taking a bath or something like that, like we had to be on our toes. If we heard knocking or some type of rumbling, like it was the same. Like Paris might get annoyed, but I mean, unless she said something, we were coming up there running.
That's right. Exactly. Wow, that's incredible, man. That, you know, to hear these same stories, you know. So, you know, I saw somewhere, I think it was on your Instagram profile or something about a zero program, or is that your program or Down to Zero?
The what is it?
I saw you do like it was a film or a short film that you did on something about zero to zero, down to zero.
Oh yeah. That was the docu-series.
Oh,
that was,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we did this cool. It was this cool docu-series, and we partnered it with. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing.
That's okay. I don't want to put you on.
But it was cool because it was like a 12-part series, and it was for National Caregivers Month, and the whole thing was called Steps Towards Zero.
Right.
It was a shot we did with, let's see, in recognition of another. Yeah, it was. I forgot what the company was. But we did this Steps Towards Zero video docu-series, and it was like 12 of them. It was really, really cool. But that was when we detailed the differences of, like, you know, the steps towards zero of getting back to zero seizures, because a lot of people will get, you know, not complacent, but, you know, once you get a good rhythm and you get the drugs that are working for your seizures, sometimes you don't want to change that because then, you know, you might have some seizures or, you know, you might have to go through. But sometimes it's better to, because there's some new stuff that could possibly get you lower to zero. So we went through this whole 12-week thing, 12 program docu-series, and that's where we talked about Paris's, like, depression and, like, the things she was talking to her doctors about, the things she needed to talk to. Like, it was such a cool docu-series.
That's awesome. Is that available? Is that available online somewhere where we can see that?
Yeah, it's all on my Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. Okay.
It is. That was one of my favorite things I've shot with Paris.
It was awesome. So
we talked about it.
Yeah, and so I'm, you know, if you could share a little bit about, because I know you talked a little bit about this as a kid, because you were how old when this, and she was 9.
Yeah,
and she was 11?
8 or 9. She was 9 or 10.
Okay, and then you talked a little bit about how that sort of shaped you, as an athlete, and then moving on. Because I mean, this is you know, something that can, I mean, every family who's dealing with this, you know, is going to have their own ways of coping with it. But to see how you rose, you know, through all of this, you know, and now are bringing awareness to it. It's just an awesome story, man. You know, we followed you, like I said, through the NFL. Watched you play with the Packers, man. We were Rams fans, but you know, we were rooting for you, you know. And
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. So if you could just share with us a little bit about how you think that might have shaped you growing up, man, because you did say something like that in the docu-series.
Yeah, you know, it was something that it's even hard to describe, because for myself, when you have to witness certain things as a child, it takes out being the child aspect of being a child, you know, and you have to grow up faster and be aware of certain things. And, you know, Paris was older, so I was the youngest. So, you know, Paris was the one protecting me, probably fighting off people and stuff. And to see, like, the complete change of, you know, from me sort of just being the baby of the family to now her going through these things to where I'm having to step up and, like, make sure I'm protecting Paris or trying to be there for her. And like I said, there has been at least 200 times of her being in the hospital on holidays and dislocated shoulders every single time. And it changes, you know, it creates a hard thing. And for myself, like, Paris was a great athlete. She, you know,
oh wow,
I don't like to put it out there. She probably was faster than maybe.
Wow.
But she was great. But to see, like, when the medicine started and she couldn't run track really anymore because her hands shaked, all the side effects that go with it. Mm-hmm. It really made me work even harder at what I was trying to do, because now it wasn't just necessarily with me, it was more so who I'm doing it for. And, you know, it gave me a reason real young as to why I was able to, I believe, to get to the places I was at. You know, I think having a goal that's outside of yourself, or something you're doing it for outside of yourself, will give you a lot more, you know, the days that you really don't want to wake up. And for myself, that was really my driving force behind a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Was really just helping out, creating a platform and giving back to Paris, and hopefully she living vicariously through me and the things I was doing. So, and we have the best relationship. I mean, we talk every morning, and it's always just been a wonderful, beautiful thing. So, like, to see, awesome. And for myself, it's so nice to be able to see this foundation grow to where it's at, because, you know, it all started with Paris' story, and for her to hear, like, I mean, in one of those docuseries, she broke down crying and this stuff because she had a little girl come up to her asking, like, how did you handle this stuff? Because I'm going through this right now. And, like, I mean, Paris was, but that's the reason we created this, is because for her to go through that and to maybe not feel hurt at first, to where now she's able to give somebody, or these kids and families and people going through this, her story, and that community, sense of community that we might not have had, but now they have, it'll change a kid's life. It'll change a parent's
for sure,
life.
definitely.
You know, all of that. So it's been an awesome story, and I'm glad we're able to continuously tell it and offer support to those who are going through the same thing.
No, that's awesome, man. And we're gonna continue to stay on you know, we want to join your team out there. It's August 13th, right? August 13th. We actually have Team Viviana. We'll be promoting that. That's my daughter. So we'll be promoting that with the walk. We registered her this week. And in fact, my wife had gotten an email from the foundation. We had signed. All right. So that was episode 4, Title Talk with Corey, with special guest, NFL star, UCLA star Brett Hundley, who joined us, but is also the founder of a great foundation called the Hundley Foundation, who supports not just epilepsy, but also youth and young fatherhood. It's just a great organization. So check that out. And then, you know, just like I said, today's is International Epilepsy Day. If you want to learn a little bit more about the cause, jump on. And we really appreciate it. But don't forget, you know, hey, I'm here to help you guys weekly, 626-392-7993. Don't forget to jump on that website, www.coreytitlerep.com, because there's some great stuff up there. And like I said, you can book an appointment with me. We can do some, I'll do a consultation with you, and I'll show you what's going on, what's working for a lot of agents out there. And I'll see you guys next week. I'll let you know who's going to be on with me. It should be good, though. So stay tuned. You guys have a great week. Stay blessed.
I'm feeling good now, no